Hey guys, welcome to the second season and 8th episode of the Melee Stats podcast starring me, SaveAsUntitled.
Me, Edwin Budding.
Who goes next?
You!
You do! I go next. Come on!
Oh my God.
No, you know what? No, we're not going to use that. But
we're going to keep going.
We're going to keep it.
You're going to keep that.
Jesus
Okay.
Christ.
We're going to end on a bang.
I'm so tight, dude.
Okay, I'm Pikachu942. That's me.
And I'm Ipangu. Glad to be here.
Why
would I go before you?
Because I'm the more important one.
Oh, Christ. All right. Ipangu, you've had these two guys on your show, but some other people may not be familiar with you and what you've done with the Melee community. So if you could give a bit of your background.
Sure, yeah. I mostly do, if you've seen me before, it's probably because you've seen my interviews. That's what all the Silver Falcos I play on NetPlay tell me. I do interviews with Melee players and sometimes other Smash players and stuff. I used to work for HGC Esports, put on HGC Throwdown, and now I do interviews and commentate and make a different esports TV show. And yeah, that's me.
Hell yeah. And Edwin, I don't know, you would probably say it more eloquently than me before we jump into Genesis about the housekeeping, about the indefinite hiatus, about what we're going into.
Yeah, so some of you guys have probably heard this already, if not all of you listening to this, but we're just taking an indefinite hiatus after this episode. The long story short is just that Save and I just kind of we're just at different points in our life right now. We're not really sure what we want to do with the podcast moving forward. I obviously have my book that's coming out later this year, if not pretty soon. Expect an announcement about that shortly. Save, I know you have college to finish, but you'll have a lot more time to pursue YouTube, like content creation for either half a year or a year, which is really cool. And both of us are just like generally not sure how much time we can commit to continuing the podcast in its current state. And we don't want to continue doing something that we don't have an agreed upon future for. And we don't want to continue doing something sporadically and having the quality drop. So just for now, we're going to be on an indefinite hiatus for a bit. But we're still going to be around. You can contact both of us, either the podcast Discord, you can contact us on Twitter. We're still active in the scene. I'm going to events and everything. We also have a new series called Melee Stats Deep Dives, which our friend and fellow Melee Stats member Wheat is leading the charge on. So that'll still be around for you guys that want your sort of podcast
fix.
Yes, fix basically. So yeah, so just stay on the lookout for the Deep Dive series, and just know that we're doing good, and it's been really fun. But just to get back onto the topic of what today's episode is all about, we have the first like really big super major of the 2019 season coming. That is Genesis 6, a series that really needs no introduction. So I guess I wanted to start off by talking about a few matches and pools to look out for. And the first one, and a lot of these matches were actually set up by Pika before the show. And the first one I want to talk about is Snowie versus Kalamazoo. So what do you guys think? Kalamazoo, rising NorCal Peach, ranked in the 30s this year. Snowie, best in San Antonio, I believe, a Jigglypuff player. He practiced with Leffen and Armada a lot. Kind of really good at the Fox matchup, but has been getting a lot better lately overall.
Yeah, recently won a tournament over Mojo. So
Also has his own team now.
Yeah. He does. That what's her name again?
Prometheus.
Yeah, Prometheus.
Yeah.
So the reason I want to bring this up especially is because last year, Kalamazoo had a very unfortunate experience at Genesis where he was double eliminated by Jigglypuff. I believe he lost
Big Kid and Smash Bob.
Big Kid and Smash Bob SquarePants.
Which is just the best two Jigglypuffs to lose to.
Has he been known to be bad at that matchup, or was that kind of the...
He plays Peach.
Okay,
he's the Peach
He just
main.
plays Peach, that's it.
Yeah.
But I mean, no, he's not bad at that matchup. He's one of the goon squad from Michigan is Abu, so he has a lot of experience in that matchup. It was more of a really unfortunate thing that happened, and that does happen when you play Peach versus Jigglypuff. So.
Yeah, and Snowie's really good, so I think Snowie can definitely beat Kalamazoo. but he's not particularly proficient at the Peach matchup. I don't think. Like, there's like in his region, there's like Blues Clues and stuff, but I don't know if like he's prepared for Kazu.
Yeah, I mean, Rishi. Oh, I forgot to say I host a different podcast too with Rishi too. But Rishi has been saying one of his little annoying things that he says half as a joke, but also half sincerely, is how if you look at data recently, a lot of the time Peaches are just beating Puffs, like even ones of similar skill levels, and the matchup might not be as bad as we used to think. There is notably that really big tournament in Washington where Toussaint and Bladewise played. Yeah. And Toussaint had just been ranked top 100, but pretty much anyone who knew Toussaint knew that he was someone who could pull punches with way above that ranking, way above that number. And so he had a really good tournament, but he still lost to Bladewise. And just in New York.
Emerald City by any chance?
Yeah, it was Emerald City.
It was.
Okay, Emerald City. Okay, I was going to say that sounded vaguely familiar.
Yeah, and then just in New York too, like Big Kid loses to the Peaches in New York a lot of the time too.
Mr. Rio beat all the time.
Yeah, so I think that Kazu will probably win that, to be honest, just because he seems to have gotten into more competitive fighting form recently.
Yeah, this is like his peak, honestly. Like even better than like his Big House run, like because he's just been getting so good this year.
We mentioned this before with Kazu, especially. I think the although I guess the rankings put them closer, but if you ask, I think most people, just like casual followers of the scene, they might not see Triff and Kalamazoo very close to each other in terms of the skill gap, but I think they're a lot closer than you would think at first glance, if you're a casual viewer at least. Anyways, I'm going to go with Kalamazoo also, but I would still look out for it. Snowie, again, one of those players that I think his stock is going up a lot. And he used to kind of just be a matchup specialist and being really good against Fox, but it's lately been getting a lot better.
I think Kazu's Big House days negatively impact his perception, like people's perception of him from his big run. Because I think people see Kazu as washed, basically. Like not like super washed, but they were like, oh yeah, he was good back when people weren't as good, right? And now he's not as good anymore. So when he gets these wins that are like fringe 40 30 players, everyone's like dismisses it because it's like, oh, he's that old guard guy, but he's really not. He just had a really big peak in the past and now he's returning to it and surpassing it.
Yeah,
he does amazing at tournaments.
My Chinese food is here. One sec, sorry.
All right, let's talk shit on Analog real quick.
Yeah, and it was terrible. No, I was on an episode of theirs. I was 2 weeks ago or so.
Edwin, do you have any particular other matchup you want to look at?
So I think we're all around the same page of having enough faith in Kalamazoo to go forward, but neither of us would be really. The other one I wanted to bring up was Tiramisu versus Spark, which is supposed to happen. Now, I mentioned this before the show to you guys, so I'm just gonna let you guys in on a secret. If you haven't heard already, Tiramisu is really good. I think he is probably I think right now I would have him as the best or second best Massachusetts player. He's a Fox player, has a really strong neutral game. Has lately for a while he was actually beating Calvar pretty badly, fellow top 100 player. He's just really trending upward. He beat Lint last weekend at GigaHog era, and he's really good. Spark, of course, one of those guys that's been getting a lot better, like constantly thinking about melee, has really, really solid punishes. So I'm just really interested to see this matchup because I want to know what Tiramisu's approach to it would be and how Spark would respond. Tiramisu's one of those players. What's he like
against Sheik? Because there's not a lot of Sheiks in New England.
I haven't seen him against like any top level Sheiks, but I can tell you from like watching Tiramisu and playing him is he plays extremely deliberately. Like he's not the kind of person that will lose to people who fish for really obvious options or just like try to force situations. Like he's not that. He's very difficult to hit. Sort of like, yeah.
With Tiramisu a while back before, right after he first got power ranked and before he had this big recent jump. But even back then, I don't know, like I would play someone who was around his level back then, like someone who was Arcadian lower ranked level, like Artie or someone, you know, and it's just like a different character, obviously, but a really different experience where Tiramisu was very clearly trying to play above the skill level he currently had. You know, he was trying to do things that were really smart, and then when you hit him, it was because he messed one of those things up.
Yeah, he's just really floored me. I would be like if we're talking about people that weren't top 100 last year but could potentially break out into that tier or make top 100 this year, he is the one of the first people I think of. I can't wait to see what he does next. Spark, one of those guys again that I think he's sort of like I don't want to draw this comparison because it's really I was gonna draw a comparison similar to how like face roll grew really prominent in his region, but I think that's kind of a cliche to just compare the Sheiks to each other. So Zane, I know you're like basically part NorCal, so what do you have to say about Sparks sort of mostly? Are you in NorCal right now or are you in New York?
No, I'm in New York right now, but when I introduce myself to people, I usually say I'm from New York, but my Smash region is more NorCal. Because it's where I like came up and have friends and stuff. I just was too busy a lot of the time to be involved in the greater New York region. Anyways, I think that the comparison between Spark and Griffin is really easy to draw because they're both Sheik players, but also because people like to draw this line of like punished game focused Sheiks, inheritors to the Sammy legacy, all that sort of stuff. And it is really true. Their matchup specialties are really different, though, even if they have the same like mentality about play, the same approach to play. Like Spark, for the longest time, his best matchup was and may still be Ice Climbers, like comparatively speaking, and that was absolutely not true for Griffin.
She get the matchup.
Yeah, no, Laudandus, don't.
Laudandus was gone for a year. Come on.
But yeah, Spark's just a really disciplined player. In terms of practice, what a lot of the time sets him back is when he throws away that discipline in game, and then it's really sad to watch someone whose game plan is so determined on something like that not do that. But he's sick. Spark's just good, dude.
Yeah, I was gonna say it'll be interesting to see because I think that just comparing those two Sheiks again, I think face roll like I was talking with Tafo about this. If there's someone I trust about Sheik, and he's pretty up there. And one of the things he was mentioning is that like one of the reasons face roll got really good is because he leveled up his PvP game. So like his mid range recognition got a lot stronger. He played a lot more deliberately and could actually like make adjustments and like mix up his game plan and everything. So I wonder. Whereas Spark, I think like I don't think he has the same kind of like I don't think he's reached that level yet in terms of his like PvP skills. But he comes into every matchup with a pretty like clear game plan and is very good at executing it. It's just like super disciplined.
Yeah, I think one thing again, I like talking about perceptions of players compared to their skill. And something that happened with Spark is I feel like people from NorCal, when Spark ended up getting ranked really high, like 5th or however high he is now, in a lot of ways it felt not fraudulent, but like, you know, people who were top 5 in NorCal used to be top 50 level players, and Spark is, but like, sorry, like top 30 level players would be ranked top 5 in NorCal, right? Like Laudandus was ranked 5th in NorCal, and he was a top 30 level player. And for a while, it was like, oh, Spark and Rocky are both really good, but they're a little bit below that, right? It's more that Zach left and like other people have gotten worse. Nintendo's not up there anymore, that sort of thing. Whereas Griffin has been on the grind for so long that I think he gets more recognition. I think that's more to do with perception than anything. And Spark's just like a little bit behind the Griffin Young Sheik development cycle. He started playing later, right? So to actually get 5th and be a top 50 level player is really impressive, and I think he'll keep growing.
Cool. So then I guess that leads us to the third match, which I really wanted to talk about.
I really want to talk about this too.
Pika, I'm so glad you brought up Toussaint Papa. I could see that. I feel like that has like endless hilarity into it. No, Pika, why don't you take the lead on this?
Okay, Toussaint, he's a Puff player, right? And Papa
Yeah.
is an Ice Climbers from Ohio.
Mhm.
He's pretty good. But you would expect in Puff Ices that the Puff would be really good at the matchup and
Yeah.
that they would know what they're doing.
Mhm.
Because the matchup's pretty easy. It's one of Icy's worst matchups for a lot of people, in a lot of people's opinion. But it turns out that Toussaint is actually terrible at this matchup. And he doesn't know what he's doing. And he just loses every time to these Ice Climbers. Like, he lost to Biz. He lost to, oh my god. He's lost to so many different, like, lower level Ice Climbers. And he's gone really close with ones too. Like, Load Spiller he almost lost to. And like,
He got double eliminated
that's like,
by
that shouldn't be
Sharks, I
happening
think.
when you're so good at this matchup.
Was
When
that
I
with
mean, when the character is
double
so
throw
good at
pop
this.
off? Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
It was with the rage controller throw into I don't want to actually break my controller.
Yeah.
The controller toss.
Yeah.
That's what it.
With the exception of DreamHack Atlanta, where he somehow beat like 2 really good Ice Climbers.
On
Wait,
his
what was
way
the
to
tournament
that
which-
was on his way to a really good run overall too, right?
Yeah, and then he lost to Sharks because Sharks reversed 3-0'd him.
Right.
Yeah.
Was DreamHack Atlanta where Sharks double eliminated him or no? I'm trying to remember.
No, it might have been. I think it might have been because Toussaint went through losers. He beat Boyd and he beat Drunk Sloth, and I was like, whoa. And then he lost to, and I was like, wow, did he figure out this matchup? And then he lost to Sharks and he went back to normal again. And it was
I
like,
actually-
DreamHack Atlanta.
A little anecdote about this. Way before Toussaint was ever power ranked or anything, I did a photo project for school where I took pictures of people at Melee tournaments. And I have this picture of Toussaint just looking super, super stressed out and concentrated. And then immediately after, like, oh, like I lost, but, you know, good stuff to the person he loses to. It's him playing Dizkid Boogie. Like, that's what those photos are from.
Jeez.
And I remember he was jumping all over the place when he was playing him. So
yeah. So like Toussaint Papa is like a legit thing that can. And Papa, you know, he has the Fizzle Boy practice. So I could see it happening. They're from like the same region from Columbus. So
What are Papa's best wins? I know he's beaten like Bobby Frizz and Bobby Big Balls and stuff, but what else did
he brought Lucky really close ones. I think he has a win or 2 on Dreffen. So he has like a couple wins, but like Toussaint would be like his first like huge win, but he could definitely do it. 100%.
How does he do against Fizzle Boy in region again?
Fizzle Boy beats him, but Fizzle Boy's hella slept on. So
I mean, that's also
I'm not too
we're not talking too much about Papa being good at the matchup because all of those people you named before who beat Toussaint aren't necessarily good at the matchup. It's just that you're saying
Yeah,
Toussaint
it's Ices.
sucks at the matchup. So
yeah, that's what it is. It's not Papa's good at the matchup. He's fine in the matchup. Like he has the practice. He's like okay, so he's competent, but it's nothing special. But Toussaint's just like I don't know, man.
All right, so what's
He
your
needs
pick?
to work on it.
What's your pick, Pika?
Ugh. That's my call out. That's my call out to you, Toussaint, on this podcast.
Oh, you're going with Papa?
Yeah, I'm going with Papa. That's my call out to you, Toussaint.
Is this gonna be Flipsy 2.0?
I think if Fizzle is beating him the majority of time they play, yeah, like it's one thing if he was just like destroying Fizzle Boy or any of the other puffs in like his region, I would feel more confident. But I have enough faith in Toussaint. I'll go with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm pulling up Toussaint's Twitter right now and seeing whether he said he's practicing. Because if he said he's practicing, then I'm pretty sure. Oh, no streams this week due to try hard practice and studying for school. Yeah. Papa's gonna win.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is actually the story of Toussaint. I've talked to him about this. I did an interview and he said, I just like don't I know it's bad, but I sort of don't want to practice because every time I don't practice, I do really well. And every time I do really poorly. That was at Shine, where he was expecting to do really bad, and then he did pretty well at Shine. So.
Yeah, he lost a legend in winners and had a really good losers run.
Really sick losers run.
Yeah.
He beat Rishi. Did he get 9th? He got 13th or 9th.
13th. Shine was the first thing. Was the thing where it was all the puffs in top 32.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I love that. That was great. All the puffs and ice.
Dude, that was so brutal.
That was
So
horrendous.
Yeah. Yeah. So if Toussaint is really try hard practicing, then my money's on Papa.
Go Papa.
Wow, so
Yeah.
2 people, no faith.
3-1 for Papa.
It's more fun to root for Papa.
It is
All
more
right.
fun. I like
So-
Papa.
If you want to get like a more detailed look at pool by pool, we're gonna try to do some kind of deep dive. Like if we can't get a recording up, I might do just like a pool by pool breakdown of what I think will happen with a few more things to look out for. But for now, why don't we just go straight into top 64 and pick out some matches that we think look really
Hell
good.
yeah.
Right in the
Um,
top 64.
Yeah, we could do that for like 10 or 15 minutes, and then we can move on to top 8 in our final.
Sick. Okay.
So the first really interesting thing that I want to hear you guys quickly talk about is Bananas Westballz. I have no clue who wins that.
See, it's weird because I think Westballz is like the best at that matchup, like as a Falco personally, and Bananas is not very good against the Falcos recently with Squid and stuff. But then it's also Westballz, so
Yeah.
I'm like,
I have no faith in Westballz, so he'll
Zane,
probably win.
outside of talking about like how effective or ineffective he is, like in terms of their like skills against each other, how do you think that factors in like Wes and Bananas? I don't know how.
You have to consider that Bananas is a really different ice climber in a lot of ways from the usual fare that Wes is used to, especially with Army and Bananas, who I love that little dichotomy is happening right now because it's such a nice, they're so nicely parallel and opposite to each other in a lot of ways. I would say that someone who throws out a lot of hitboxes like Bananas does, who lives for the smash attack, oh god, it's so hard to say. It's so hard to say when it comes to West. Did you guys saw that set he had against Duck? I forget what tournament it was at, like 3 months ago, where the commentators were saying, I guess he just has to get him to 180% in back air. And that's what West did just every single time. And
Wes is so good. He's so sick at playing so like unengaging. It's always fun. It's kind of funny when he like abandons it and then really loses his stock. It's like, dude, you're so good at playing campy.
Yeah, but I'd actually say that defensive playstyle he usually uses is more likely to fail against
someone like Bananas.
that Bananas is, because Wes's defensive playstyle that he uses against Duck or someone like that is a lot of jumping around, a lot of using top platform, and that's really good against Icies who do live for the grab like Army. But Bananas is just gonna fucking like send up his desynced Nana to up air you, and he's gonna get down aired, and then he's gonna do it again, over and over and over again.
Bananas plays how, I think the way he phrased it was, he plays how Daddy Sakurai intended.
Yeah, he said, the word smash is in the title of the game. Daddy Sakurai wants us to smash attack people. Everyone.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Is he really? Yeah.
I was gonna say they were like West had the head-to-head advantage, but lately Army has kind of been beating him solidly.
It's 14-15 from last year.
Yeah,
I would take Bananas. I also agree with Save. I don't have any faith in
exactly
in Westballz.
Oh damn!
But that's why I love when he proves me wrong.
Yep.
All right, another really is there any shot at an upset Mango Hacks? Any shot?
Mm-hmm.
Assuming Hacks gets there, what do you guys think?
No chance. Hack's gonna get
Nah.
destroyed.
Yeah.
Mango's gonna go.
Totally is.
Nah, I don't think there is. No chance.
When Hax was playing like the worst of his box career, he almost beat Hungry Box and had his controller break, and he lost.
Dude, it's the saddest set ever. Oh.
If you talk to
so
him,
sad.
if you talk to him, he actually says he would have lost the set because the Hungry Box adapted to him game 2. Mm-hmm. But Hax was not playing well during that stretch of play. He was in like a place where we think of him as being now, and he almost beat Hungry Box. So is Hax gonna do it? Probably not. Is there potential? Yeah, dude, he's still like so smart at the game. It's just ridiculous.
I think it's a non-zero chance, but it is a very, very small number.
Yeah, probably.
I guess. I don't know. I have less faith in Hax nowadays, honestly, because he'll just like randomly do really bad nowadays, and I don't know what to think about that anymore.
Well, I don't think the him doing bad is the lesser part. The more prominent part is him DQing himself.
Oh yeah, he shows up.
Showing up.
That's the hardest part.
Well, it's not even that he doesn't show up; he goes to tournaments.
Yeah, he goes. It's like, nah.
Pika, if you think he played to like the peak potential he could play right now, do you think he would have any shot, like, of what he's capable of with the box now?
If he played at his absolute peak, maybe. I don't know. Mango would have to be playing a little bit.
I think he could. I think if Hax was playing at like a 8 and Mango was playing at like a 4 or 5, like it could be doable.
Do you think Hax takes a game?
Yeah, I think it'll be 3-1.
Yeah, I actually agree. I think that's pretty.
Yeah, that's on. Where does he take Mango? Or where does he take the game?
Battlefield.
Yeah, actually, what kind of question is that? Of course.
Yeah, that was a silly question.
It's either going to be a 3-0. It's going to be a 3-0 all on Battlefield, or he's going to win on Battlefield, and we're going to go somewhere else.
Yeah, he'll win.
I forgot Hax Battlefield, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. Other interesting matches. Is Army Absent Page interesting, or is it just another Fox Ice Climbers?
Well, Absent Page has beaten him before, but Army's...
Yeah, they played 3 times at Talking Stick, and Army took 2 sets 3-0, and Absent Page took 1 set game 5. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Army is going to win. I think Absent Page is kind of better at the matchup because you worked with Fiction on it, and apparently when you work with Fiction, you get better at the matchup than Fiction. So...
Actually, I don't want to talk about this anymore because I'm realizing this is just fast follower against Ices. Who cares? Like,
yeah, exactly. The mystique of Absent Page is gone.
No.
Okay.
Absent Page is no mystique except for him as a person.
What about Amsa face roll? Anything you want to say about that quickly?
Yeah. So we had talked about this before, and Amsa really is a very different beast from any other Yoshi. But face roll, dude, Griffin's just playing so well, and I do think that the main Sheik who plays against Amsa, when we see it, Mewtwo King, is pretty fucking bad at the matchup. Like, not great in general. So I don't know. I think Griffin could totally do it, and I think he's probably practicing for it as much as he can.
Question, Zane. Do you think that Mewtwo King is extraordinarily bad against Yoshi, or do you think Amsa is just that good? That's
both. I mean, Amsa's like obviously one of the best players in the
I don't think any other Yoshi. You know what I mean? Like, it feels kind of cheap to say it's because he's bad at. Like, it's not giving Amsa credit. No,
he's bad at the theoretical Amsa level of Yoshi. Right? He probably, if he plays any other Yoshi, even the ones who are really good, the same tactics he uses are amazing. But Amsa has a tendency.
Fair enough.
Amsa's ability to reversal and break momentum and have them be fully fleshed out parts of the way he plays the game, as opposed to something he needs to set up very specifically for, is what sets him apart from other Yoshis.
Yeah, fully agreed. I just think it's like, I think it's a little more accurate to say like Mewtwo King will like play lazy in the matchup or like underwhelming, but I wouldn't say he's like terrible. You know what I mean?
I'm very critical.
Between the 6th or 5th best player in the world and like the 9th.
I mean, I'm really critical of people in the Yoshi matchup in general, obviously.
And I guess that makes sense because you like that's so funny, Zane. Quick side note, Zane. Can you just quickly talk about your?
Yeah. So I mean, there's 2 people in my life I've played the most Melee with. My friend Thomas, who's a Sheik main, and then my friend Jamie Whiskers from New York, who. Me and Jamie were the number 1 and number 2 at Columbia most of the time that we were there, after people better than us graduated. And he's way better than me as a player in general. He has insane wins on like hacks and on IBDW too from back then. Almost beat Lucky one time when he was in, I think maybe, I don't know. Anyways, he's ridiculous. So I spent a lot of my college career, or a lot of my college time, just learning about Yoshi and learning all the things that he does and trying to figure out ways to do well in the matchup and what characters have in the matchup. And I don't think people understand how good Sheik is at the matchup, like truly how good she is at the matchup.
All right, to just keep things moving, we'll go to the one after SFAT Gatsu, a rematch of Shine, one of the most underrated sets of last year. And one of my
is it underrated though? Is it underrated?
I think in comparison to because last year there were so many good sets. Like I don't think SFAT Gatsu would crack the top 10 of best sets of 2018, but I think in other years it might have. Specifically because of the last game where Gatsu threw away a 4-stock by going for the most obvious drop zone knee of all time, and then almost lost the set. It's one of the funniest moments I've ever had of watching Melee live was when he grabbed SFAT, and everyone in the audience was like, "Oh, he's gonna drop zone knee." He completely missed.
He should have drop zone stomp. That would have been the real Gatsu.
Which is his thing anyway.
Yeah, that's his thing. Why didn't he do it? That's the Gatsu. I wanted one Gatsu stomp, and we didn't even get one. He just did a stupid stomp.
I know. That really was a funny set. It was a funny set because the narrative is that Gatsu is a choker, and then when it started happening, you were like,
I was like, oh no.
Oh my god. There's no way. Because he was like, it's not a great set gameplay wise because Zach just gets fucked. Like Zach is just absolutely destroyed the entire time. So it's fun to watch if you like seeing Falcon do crazy, ridiculous things to a Fox. But other than that, it's like a pretty whatever set until Gatsu almost loses.
Dude, Gatsu's man, I'm so happy Gatsu won. I almost had a heart attack when he was losing because I was like,
dude,
please,
the
Gatsu.
minute he lost when he threw away his first stock, I thought. I was watching with one of my friends. I was like, dude, I've seen this story a million times with Gatsu. I really don't want him to lose this game.
When he lost the stock, I just got flashbacks to like every single time he's ever played none in a high stakes situation.
Dude, him versus King Momo is a really good legendary reverse 4-stock.
That's another 6 set. Ending okay, so SFAT Gatsu. I have no clue how this will turn out. I'm just pretty. It's one of those things.
Yeah,
that
me
I'm
neither.
Not really sure.
I gotta see how Gatsu's playing that day.
Right, that's what it is. Do any of us have any sort of sense of how well Gatsu is playing right now? Like if he actually had an overall skill level up? Not really. I don't really know how he's playing right now.
I mean, he lost at his local to Komodo, so.
Well, okay, well.
Is there any chance he loses play-in match against Nintendo?
No, Nintendo's gonna go Marth and get destroyed.
Oh
so.
If that's the case, he's done.
Gatsu does that to Marth.
Even if Nintendo went Ices, which when he first switched he would do sometimes, I would still put money on Gatsu because Nintendo's out of practice, and Gatsu, like that's one of his most played matchups is versus Ices. So
yeah.
Is there any? So I'm just looking at the side of bracket as a whole. There's not, because that's kind of a endless hole that we could get caught in. But just in winner's side, I think this segment with like Leffen, Ginger, Army, Absent Page, Amsa, Facial, SFAT, Gatsu has a lot of entertainment value and a lot of crazy things that can happen.
I want to see Leffen Army so bad, dude.
Yeah,
Leffen
like
Army's gonna be so good.
Like I don't know if there's much to like delve into about Leffen Army other than that there's a non-zero chance that just because of the Ices factor that Army could win. No, man. Leffen is just good enough against Ice Climbers to beat them. That's like his thing. He's just good enough to beat them every time. But you know what I mean. Like there's so many ways that this could work out. I think that cluster of players or like that quarter of players in winners bracket will be really interesting to look out for. And I would not be surprised if some wild shit like I don't think it will happen, but I would not be surprised if some wild shit like Gatsu versus Amsa happens in round of 16, or we get like Amsa versus Army in winners quarters or some. Oh, that would be so cool. I would love
really
that.
Dope.
A lot of
Amsa winner semis, dude. Oh, that would be so cool.
Go on.
The thing with little areas like this a lot of the time is that what you get is like an area that's really high for upset potential, and so you do see all these potential matchups that could be really great. But it also means that you could get something like Absent Page versus Leffen, which will just be like the most boring match of all time.
Hey,
Wait.
he almost took a game off Mango.
It's Absent Page Leffen. That's so sick, dude.
No,
it's not.
It'll be
not.
so. It'll be so.
Oh.
Absent Page
It'll
is
be
just
so
gonna like
boring.
refuse
It's
to
just gonna be like
engage
2 3-stocks and a 2 3-stocks and a 2-stock, and Leffen's gonna win.
Oh.
Nah, man,
Do you
it'll be
think
two.
it's
It'll be a
Leffen's
3-stock, a 2-stock, and a last stock.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
Absent Page will win 3-0 with the 3-stock, a 2-stock, and 1-stock.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Dude, I'm
Yeah.
just saying, after Lovage defeated Leffen at GTX, I will never count any result ever.
Absent Page is no lovage.
God.
Absent Page is no
I'll
lovage.
never
Yeah,
count
he's
out
better.
any
I agree with Pika.
He's better.
He's no lovage. Nobody can beat Leffen like lovage. Nobody.
No, but that's the thing is that Melee. Okay, Melee
the
is such
funniest result of all time.
Melee is such a weird game in that, like, things that appear to be hot streaks, like, oh, a player's really playing really well this tournament, because of the diversity of matchups and play styles and just, like, different characters will be completely different. Hot streaks are very rare at tournaments a lot of the time. Actual hot streaks. Like, Kobol beat Axe and Amsa, and then he had to play really hard people after that, but it's not like he just magically was going to win the really hard matchups after that, too. It's really hard in Melee, which makes when it does happen, like S2J's Shine run, like that's when it's so incredible because someone truly is playing elevated. So the really long-winded thing I'm saying is blocks like these can be really exciting, and they can also be really boring because someone makes an upset and that gets 3-0'd immediately after because they just it's different.
You mean like if we get something like Gatsu versus? Well, actually, Gatsu has like. Hasn't he played Leffen really close before? Like, I think he's lost. Like, he's lost when he's played him. But, like, are you? So you're saying like the inverse could, the same way you said Absent Page Leffen being not exciting at all. Like, we could just see Gatsu get destroyed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And upsets sometimes make the match after it less exciting, and the match in losers less exciting. Because common logic would say that every time you deviate from the seeding, you get a deviation in skill level. And so it should only make for a more exciting matchup if someone is playing with some difference from their perceived or actual skill level as with the seeding, right? But a lot of time that's not what happens in Melee. It's not like in college basketball or something where a team suddenly, it happens all the time there, right? Where a team is actually on fire and they play amazing. They're elevated. But in Melee, you play really, really well. Maybe the matchup worked out well. Maybe you just had a read or something, and then you fucking lose immediately.
So looking through winners quarters right before we go to top 8, outside of like Mango Mutaking, I feel like that's sort of a coin flip or a slight Mango favored. Leffen Amsa projected, or I really think Leffen's kind of as long as he gets by Army, I think Leffen's more than fine.
But he has to get by Army, dude. That's gonna go game 5, and Leffen's gonna barely win. That's my prediction.
And then for the other side, it feels like I think it would be extremely unlikely for Plup to lose before quarters. And other than maybe a scare from Swedish, if he's playing well and Zane isn't, or if he's just playing out of his mind.
Wait, just really quickly, Leffen is focusing on ultimate instead of Melee.
Yeah.
So I think Leffen Amsa has more potential than it's.
You think so?
Uh-huh.
Well, Absent Page is going to beat him before that, so it won't matter.
No, it won't.
But he's so like, I just can't see. I know Amsa is really good and he's not just like a gimmick player, but Leffen is. I think if you named like one of the quote unquote demigods players or whatever, that like players who Leffen would be feasibly playing in winners quarters, isn't Amsa near the top as far as people that you're like very sure that he's not going to lose to, or like in comparison to someone like Wizzy or someone like Zane or someone like Axe? Like,
what do you think him being able to win his summit set against him so handily was having all that time and prep for it? Like, do you think if he's not super prepped for the Yoshi matchup a couple of days before he's gonna go? I guess that'd be more a question for you, Zane.
Zane, you know Yoshi. It's not like Yoshi's not some like busted.
It's not Yoshi. It's Amsa, dude. When would you have said that Amsa was gonna have a chance against HBox before he beat him?
No, I still in my mind it hasn't fully processed that Amsa has actually like taken a set off HBox.
See, for me, it's Wizrobe. For me, it's Wizrobe. I don't know how Amsa beat Wizzy. I don't know how he almost beat him again at Summit. I don't know how Amsa does
he's-
anything.
Because he practices really fucking hard. He learns matchups, like actually learns them and formulates game plans. You can see it really clearly. Him versus HBox he implemented an entirely new game plan, which was dash dance on the top platform and then do a wave land off for a falling up air kill. And it worked beautifully. And it worked pretty damn well the next time too, but HBox
I couldn't believe how successful, because it looked so, the first time he tried it when he started taking their sets closer. When he started taking their sets closer, I thought like, oh yeah, like this is kind of cute, but it looks like HBox is figured like the HBox this is not going to work. Like if he tries it again, and then like he just got better, and like it seemed like a sustainable problem.
But so that's why I'm saying I would never count out Amsa. Like I think that there's very few people. I don't think there's anyone where I would just go, yeah, I think that person has a guaranteed win, especially not a rusty Leffen.
Who do you think is the hardest person that that Yoshi Amsa could feasibly play in bracket?
Mango.
He tough it. Mango? Oh,
Yeah.
really? Okay.
I don't know about Mango. I don't think anyone.
Mango close too. You
I
think
don't think
Mango's
anyone.
harder for him than Leffen?
I would put Mango and Leffen together.
Okay, but you agree that Leffen is like near the top?
Yeah. I would do Leffen
Really,
and Mango together.
I would put Armada at the top.
Well,
Yeah.
hey man, he lost that game to Avalancer.
Yeah, anything's
did.
possible.
Amsa also took a game at Summit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty even ultimate Leffen. It would be really funny if he lost to Army or like before that, or it would be really crazy impressive if Amsa beat him. But I just think that like as far as the potential draw, it's like very much compared to what he could have. I think it's asking a lot of Amsa to beat him, and it's asking.
Yeah, but if Army beats Leffen, oh, that's free. That's
yeah,
so
if
free.
Army beats Leffen, we see Amsa Army. It's done. That's a 3-0 for Amsa. Amsa and winners. Do what if we saw Amsa Zane in winner semifinals? If Zane's beat
or Amsa Plub or Amsa Plub
or Amsa.
Body
Oh
Plub.
yeah, or Amsa Plub. He just has to get by Army.
And then Music King of Winners finals. Amsa's gonna win Genesis.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Plup is another one that's almost in that same tier too, where he understands the matchup pretty well. I think he's yeah, I think he does.
He has like character knowledge, but he got destroyed the last 2 times they played.
I agree, but I still think he understands the matchup better than Mewtwo funnily enough.
Oh my god, what is up with you hating Mewtwo King?
No, I hear nothing wrong here. Yeah, this seems right to me.
Mewtwo King would agree with me. Mewtwo King was going off on stream all day today about how facts don't change because someone's a better player. Now is Mewtwo King a better player than Plup? He was talking about how Piranha Plant's bad and the fact
That's funny.
But listen, I think that Plup understands how Yoshi works and what to do to stop him a lot more. And I don't know.
How do you explain Amsa bodying his Sheik and his Fox?
Yeah, I don't know if this is like I don't know if this is a weird like eye test thing. Zane, I feel like this is an eye test thing that you're.
Oh no, it absolutely is. It absolutely is. I'm going purely off of how I think they play in the matchup, and I think that Plup understands the matchup more. That's all. I don't know. Mewtwo King's. It may just be
plays
that
lazy, but the constant execution test, like dumb gamble stuff, like it still nets it. Like it may not like maximize his results in the matchup, but it's still like effective. It's not like he's.
Yeah, you know what? That's probably more of it. Is I appreciate the way Plup plays.
Yeah, I think that's more fair than.
I think that he understands Yoshi and what to do to beat Yoshi better than M2K. M2K does have a very, very simple, effective game plan against Yoshi. That's not a good game plan, but when it goes his way, he wins.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love hating on Mewtwo King Sheik. Don't get me wrong. I'll take any opportunity in the world to make fun of his Sheik or hate on it. I just some perspective. But that's I think if you're bringing it up as an eye point, like I can definitely see why.
Oh yeah,
why
that's part of it.
that.
M2K is still fine at the matchup. It's just like he's it's just M2K in general, right? It's so easy to discredit him. I'm sorry, M2K.
Yeah.
It's just
No, you're discrediting Sheik. This is great. This is
No,
great.
no. We accept your apology on behalf of me.
No, M2K, I feel bad. I don't want M2K to see this and be like, oh no, Ipengu's so mean to me. M2K is really good, and the fact that he has simple game plans is why he's able to compete in so many games. Like,
dude,
he's a genius. He really is. It's just...
Oh my god. Okay, and enough of it. This is not the shill podcast.
Yes, it is. Go watch. Go follow Mewtwo on.
Dude, Mewtwo he already follows me. It's like...
No, but I mean,
All right, Edwin.
No, yeah.
It's a weird, interesting part of Mewtwo King, where the fact that he's one of these people who claims he has the most melee knowledge, right? Like, he says he knows everything about the game, and the way he chooses to implement that knowledge is by coming up with a one-size-fits-all solution for every matchup, and saying, I've studied it, here's what I'm going to do. So it's not what you would think, like, someone who studies a matchup really intently is like, okay, I know all the intricacies of this and I'm going to adapt. M2K is like, no, I've studied this. I know everything that's going to happen. So here's my really, really simple game plan that's going to win because statistically speaking, it's the best option. And that's just how he plays. Speaking of
Mewtwo King, since we're talking about this, do we think Duck has any shot against Mewtwo King?
No.
Oh, yeah, is already...
No, just
move on.
No. Move on, Edwin.
Okay. Okay. I just like, hey, look, Duck beat Hungrybox to close last year. He's, you never know. Or he could just get 3-0'd by Mewtwo King. But
yeah.
Like that'll. I think he'll take a game on Fountain. I think he'll take a game on Fountain and lose 1-3.
Damien says in chat, I think he does. M2K is an ultimate player.
Yeah. If he does beat, assuming he beats Duck, is there anything to say about Mango and Mewtwo King other than that? It just depends on who's playing better.
Yeah, it's really a coin flip.
Mango Mewtwo King is the ultimate coin flip. You never know.
I think Mango usually takes it more often than not, but like it's still it's hard to say.
See, the thing is, when they play, it doesn't matter who's on fire, who's playing bad that day. Like whenever they play, it's legitimately like 50-50. Like it doesn't matter.
I think their last, they used to have really exciting sets, but lately, if you look at their, like I was talking to Fairfax, shout out to I was talking to Fairfax, a fellow Melee Stats member, and I was telling him like, yeah, Mango and Mewtwo King, that's like one of my favorite rivalries, and he was like, really? And I asked him like, why? What's wrong with Mango and Mewtwo King? That's so hype. He's like, look at their last like 5 or 10 sets. They're all like pretty bad sets, or like very like not exciting or one-sided. And I looked at the history, and it was actually kind of jarring. I was like, wow, these sets suck. What happened? It's like bad. It's like low. Either like one person is just playing way better than the other. They're both playing like sloppy, or I don't know.
Do we think Mango PPU is at all interesting?
PPU's taken him close before. I think it depends. I think his Falco. PPU could beat it pretty well. The Fox would be a lot harder, but Mango usually goes Falco before like.
Yeah,
Day 3.
So that's why I'm sort of wondering about that.
PPU's taking him close. I think Mango is still solidly favored, but it wouldn't surprise me if PPU beat him, especially if Mango was playing off.
Mango's gonna beat PPU.
Okay.
Bold take. Bold.
Is there any Plup Zane or Hungrybox Axe? Like Zane's beaten Plup 2 times before, so it's not like impossible for him to beat.
I think Plup Zane could go either way. Personally.
Yeah, me too.
I think Plup is solidly favored, but it wouldn't surprise me if Zane won.
I don't think he's solidly favored at all.
Dude, Plup's playing... You do have to factor in that Plup's playing Ultimate.
Dude, are we really going to like...
All the top players are playing Ultimate.
Yeah.
All the top players are playing Ultimate. Mango,
yeah. You think it doesn't matter?
I think it does. I think it does, like, in some point, but Plup... Like, these are world-class players, you know? It's not like...
Zane's a world-class player. Zane won a major.
Yeah, but and they're only projected to play, like, 5 or 6 games in Ultimate. Like...
But Zane's also playing a 2080 matchup, so...
It's not the switching. It's not the switching. It's that, like, Plup has not been grinding Melee, dude. He's streaming Ultimate all day.
Yeah.
That's true.
He's been playing Ultimate against top players. He's been practicing.
Are you saying that...
Also, Plup is not projected to only go... Like, he might be projected, but Plup is a very real Ultimate contender.
He's seen it, like, 70th or something. Actually,
yeah,
he's 90th.
Because he doesn't have any tournament results, but he could very well do better than that.
Yeah, Plup and Armada are going to do good.
I'm not going to even remotely pretend like I have any idea how good Plup is relative to the field in Ultimate, so I will take your word for it.
Okay, Damien does say Plup practices Melee every night off stream, so that's good.
Cool.
Oh man, I just okay. All right, so I guess moving on to top 8.
Can we talk about IBDW real quick before we go on?
Oh yeah, what do you want to talk about with him?
I just want to say that he's got a real shot of maybe even making top 8 from loser's side. And I realistically think he could beat Axe 2. I don't think that's too out of the realm of possibility. But his loser's path is all people he beat last weekend. Shroomed, SFAT, Army, and then Mewtwo King. Yeah. How probable is IBDW Mewtwo King?
Very probable.
I think I could see it if it happened, but I could see it happening. Like if Mewtwo King is playing like very badly.
If his controller breaks again, he lost the Lucky.
Yeah, I like IBDW.
Who did M2K lose to last Genesis?
Lucky.
Yeah, he lost the Lucky.
Oh man.
The other best Fox versus Marth.
Notably defeating Zane at Genesis 5 before.
Can we not talk about that set? Zane literally threw away that set.
Sad. All right, we can jump on to top 8.
Quick thing about IBDW though. If he does make this run, if you're IBDW, would you rather play Mango or Mewtwo King to make top 8?
Mango.
Mewtwo King.
He would fuck up Mango.
Would he?
What?
He's gonna fuck up Mango if they play.
I feel like there's a higher probability that like Mewtwo King is off and IBDW beats him that Mango is super off.
The thing is, Zane, in case you missed it, if you were IBDW and you made that run to, let's say, you make that run to top 12.
Sure.
Would you rather play Mango or Mewtwo King to make top 8 if you're IBDW?
I would say Mewtwo King.
Oh, come on, guys. God damn it.
He's so good at that matchup.
Yeah, he's
so
a monster.
Insanely good at that matchup.
Mewtwo King's just gonna go Marth and FD him.
It's one game.
3 games in a row?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one.
He is like the best Fox versus Marth.
He's so good at it, dude.
He's so incredibly good at that matchup.
I believe in Cody, but I don't think he'd beat Mewtwo King if they play.
So why do you think he would rather play Mango though?
I don't know. I just feel like if he's playing that good, he could really mess up Mango on that day. I don't know. It's just a feel thing.
I will say, I think there's a greater likelihood that if let's assume like in both worlds where he upsets either player, if IBDW upset Mewtwo King, I think the way I would see it happening would still be like I think Mewtwo King's baseline against Fox is still like really strong enough where if Cody was playing amazing and Mewtwo King was playing worse, that I still think it would go to like game 5 or something or go down to the wire. Whereas I think if Mango is playing that same level of bad and Cody's playing amazing, I could see Cody winning like 3-1.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Destroying me. But this is of course like Mango playing very subpar. Like
I mean, I just think it's really hard to say because we haven't seen a Fox who's good against Marth ever. Like it doesn't.
Are you saying Leffens or are you saying Armada's Fox isn't good against Marth?
I'm saying an upset realm. I'm saying a Fox who is lower than God level, who is good against Marth, is not a thing that has existed up to this point. Like, Lucky is honestly the other best Fox against Marth. If you look at the results over the past few years, it's definitely not SFAT anymore.
SFAT.
Rip SFAT.
After Zane and after Spud, it's SFAT's lost that title.
I mean, SFAT had the claim in 2016.
Yeah, for a while he was so good.
When he beat Mewtwo King, he was definitely the best Fox at the matchup. And then in 2017,
You know what Fox was good against Marth? Crush.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Rest in peace, Crush.
That's a good point. You're right. Did we ever see Crush M2K?
We did it at Summit.
Mewtwo King bodied him at Genesis.
Or Genesis, sorry. They played in Cruise at Summit and at Genesis.
Right, and M2K bodied him. That's right.
With Marth and Sheik.
Yeah, that's a good point. I still think IBDW is better.
His like baseline, like Mewtwo King's baseline is so strong even when he's playing off against Fox. But you never know. Anyways, I think thank you, Save, for calling that out. I think that's actually that'll be really fun to see. Especially it'll be good for Tri-State too.
I mean, it's a really, really a lot of things have to happen for that.
Yeah, he has to be playing.
Yeah.
but it's not.
But I mean, still like a
doable.
13th or a 9th placing is not too crazy.
No, definitely
Yeah.
not. I'm just worried because I feel like every time something like this happens where someone has an amazing, like, I don't know, I have no data to back this up on, but I feel like a lot of the time when someone has a really great regional, I'm like, oh man, this major's coming up, they're going to do so well at, and they always bomb it. Except with Spud. Spud lived up to the hype.
Well, Spud's just insane.
Spud's just insane. Yeah.
Dude, Pika, you were on the Spud as a top 40 player.
Dude, I've been on the
How
Spud
long?
train literally. I've been on the Spud train since literally he existed. This is true.
I was on the Spud train, and then he lost to Ryan K at Big House, just like got completely destroyed by Ryan K.
See, Ryan K's from Staten Island, which is where I'm from, so I wasn't mad about that at all. I was still on Spud train for.
I'm not mad at it either. Like, I love Ryan. Ryan's great, but
Yeah.
but like, dude, you know Ryan. Ryan doesn't play Melee. Big House was the first major he had
Dude,
been to.
No way.
Ryan K doesn't go to
2
any of
years.
our locals. We get so mad. He doesn't. He didn't go to any of our locals when he lived here.
No, he shows up randomly to drink with friends. He doesn't enter brackets. Big House was maybe the only major Ryan's entered in the past three years. And he just, like, he did not know Spud was supposed to be a thing, because he said it was like, he was
Yeah.
playing like a regional Marth. Like,
Oh my god.
Dude, I'm looking. So I guess to close off our Genesis preview, I'm looking at top 8, and the first thing I see is losers bracket is Axe versus Mutaking. Guys, if that happens, does Mutaking have like any shot,
No,
or we just
no.
completely?
Axe is gonna destroy him.
Muta King's
Yeah.
gonna bring out the puff.
Yeah, I think this is again like 3-1 or 3-0 for Axe.
Damn.
Yeah, Axe.
Amsa Zane is projected.
I think I'm just gonna destroy it. I'm just gonna destroy it.
Zane barely beat Nebby. He barely beat him. That was
Yeah,
so
I think
close.
this will be like really like I remember seeing Zane play Axe the first time, and I thought like, oh, like this is cool. Like he's keeping it competitive. But Zane was getting like really angry at the way, or like really annoyed at how he was like against Amsa. Like he's just gonna get run over.
Wow.
Peanut is also the least Amsa like top Yoshi. Just
Yeah.
like other top Yoshi.
I
Because
was gonna say before anyone brings him up, like I don't think that's a good comparison.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. He's like Whiskers, Widlar, Yui, Nebby, all way closer to Amsa than Peanut is. And Peanut's on the level of, like, except for Nebby, of those other players are better than them. They're all about the same. But like he's the least Amsa like Yoshi. He's just a smart player who like sometimes uses Yoshi's stuff, but he's not a fireball.
Yeah, like I don't see Zane really beating Amsa. Like Amsa's like one of the only people where I look at Zane and I'm like, yeah, Zane's losing.
I do know he's prepped the matchup a ton.
I'd be
like,
really
a
impressed
ton,
if he
a ton.
beat him. It would be one of the. It wouldn't be a Shine 2018 level victory, obviously, because that's a whole tournament. But it would be like, in terms of individual sets, it would really floor me if Zane.
Me too.
Yeah.
His actually, when people talk about the matchup prep, it's that he's played with Lod's Yoshi a lot. Is actually the more important matchup prep, which is
Wow,
better.
really? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
Lot's
I think
is
it's
pretty
good.
good, but
Lod's Yoshi is amazing.
Yeah.
Lod's Yoshi is definitely better than Peanut. Like, again, I love Mike, but Lod's Yoshi is definitely better than Peanut.
Is there anything else we want to talk about this top 8? It seems like pretty like it's still exciting, but you know we know all the familiar faces.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Any matchup you really want to see more than anything
I want to
else?
see Hungry Box versus somebody that he loses to.
I want to see Hungry Buck Zane grand finals again. That's really what I want to see.
I really want to see Mango's Fox, like not just against Hungry Box, but him pulling it out.
No, wait. Actually, the greatest possible timeline would be Mango Zane grand finals. Just like that would be the best
That'd be
thing
kinda
of
dope.
all time. That'd be so sick.
Nah,
Also,
great.
if he somehow miraculously avoided his ultimate kryptonite axe, I'm kind of curious to see Mutaking Zane again. Mostly because I don't know what character Mutaking would go through the set. I have a pretty good idea for how I imagine a Zane plup set going on average, and sort of like the possibilities for there. But I do wonder like Zane's Marth versus what's going in Mewtwo head when he selects a character, and I have no clue how. I don't know how those, like, if they played extended sets, how Mewtwo Sheik would go against Zane's Marth. I'm very curious to see how that's changed.
I think Mewtwo would probably lose at this point, honestly.
Yeah. No.
Do you think he just won't bother going Sheik?
I think he will. I think he'll go Marth and Sheik. I think he'll go Marth first. No, he'll go Sheik first, and if he loses, he'll go Marth.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
I didn't even like consider that, Edwin, because it's been so long since they played. I know I do kind of really want to see how
so much has changed, right?
Yeah.
Like
it's been like a year.
It's a lot better. What do you think, Zane? Other Zane?
You cut out in my thing when you said it, so I don't know what matchup you're talking about.
Oh, rip. We were talking about Mewtwo Sheik versus Zane's Marth. We haven't seen it.
Yeah. Okay, now that all makes sense. Do
you think Mewtwo bothers going Sheik, or has Zane graduated from? Because it's like some players, like Mewtwo just won't.
I think he'd definitely go Sheik. Like, I'm not saying he. I think that he has not graduated, is what I'm saying. There's definitely like a way or a universe where he goes Sheik. It's not like he's changed, especially when he's been focusing on Ultimate. That's like the more likely time for his Sheik to come out to me. I don't know. I think that. Would he ever counterpick Sheik if he starts Mirth and gets bodied?
If he gets like destroyed.
I think he would. If he got beaten badly enough, I think he would go Dreamland with Sheik and just ride out Sheik for the rest of the set.
That's sort of what I'm expecting to happen if they play. I sort of.
So you think he'd body Mewtwo Marth and the Ditto, and then
I'm way more confident in Zane's Marth than against Mewtwo Marth than against his Sheik, actually. I was a very big Zane and the Ditto hater for a long time, but from talking to Rishi about it, he says that he truly thinks Zane and him have like ascended the Ditto to new places, and that they do new stuff every time, and they talk about it all the time and make notes of it. So I think that Zane probably would actually be very good in the Ditto now.
Interesting. The Ditto, so I don't know if I would.
Yeah, that's what M2K went Sheik after losing game 2 to Rishi, right? Okay, that's what I was trying to remember, if that was the order, right? That's what I think will happen. That's what I think is going to happen probably if they play.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting that you think the opposite. I have no idea how it would turn out, but if I were to guess, I think probably the other way around, where he beats the Sheik out to unlock to graduate to Marth or whatever, because it's like a very like. People typically on like top 8 or like near the end of tournaments is sort of where Mewtwo Marth becomes more of like a like you're more likely to see it, except for like Plup, I guess, and Wizzy, but Wizzy's not at this tournament or in Melee, so
only Ultimate Singles.
So do we want to, before we end it off, talk about who we think's going to win, just very briefly, because I think the answer is pretty obvious.
Yeah, I don't see any like real bracket enders in Hungrybox's path, and sometimes basically either guaranteeing or and I feel bad for saying this because earlier in the week I wrote about how like if he's matched up with some of the people from 7 to 10 are kind of scary for HBox, like Zane, Axe, or sorry, not Axe, like Zane, Wizzy, and Amsa. But then but that was before I looked at the final projected bracket. Yeah. And there's looking at it now, definitely do not read what I wrote in Monday Morning Marth.
I don't anyway.
Who would do that anyway?
Yeah, do not read that. No, I still picked him to win Genesis. I don't see anything like difficult or ridiculously difficult in his path to top 8. Mango is still pretty tough for him.
No, but I don't think so.
But not I mean tough relatively to who else he could play, but I still see him as a big favorite, and just it feels very unlikely that Hungrybox will lose, so I'm going to go with him.
I think if Armada were at this tournament and character locked into Peach, Hungrybox would still have a greater chance of losing.
Damn. Because
it would shift the bracket so that he doesn't have his most favorable run.
Yeah.
If there were someone seated above Plup and Zane to make that more screwy, so that Zane would play HBox in top 8 qualifiers, it would be way more likely. But Plup and Zane, who to me are the people who I think really like are people who could do very well against HBox, along with Leffen, are on the opposite side of the bracket.
Yeah.
After him getting tons of Wizrobe and Zane playing up to getting into winners finals, he finally got a good bracket, and it's real good.
It's funny we're mentioning he finally got a good bracket because he won so much. So like clearly, like, he deserves had great brackets before.
It matters so much for him because losing earlier for HBox just means like, because it's like, how many chances does HBox have to play someone who can beat him, right? Mm-hmm. And if he loses earlier, it's that many chances that he just runs into one other person who might be able to beat him. Just he runs into Plup or Zane or someone there. But with them on the other side, like just 2 rounds earlier, it changes it so completely.
Yeah, I think HBox is winning this pretty solidly. I don't even think he loses a set in grands.
So you know me, I normally like to pick like a cool pick, a different pick, and try to make a bold.
You picked Flipsy over Mango.
Yeah.
You were the
but this time the bracket's just so good for him, and I can't deny it. I think HBox is gonna win this one. I can't go against him.
Wait, so we all think he's winning this?
Do I have to say something else? I always say HBox is gonna win.
You always do.
I'll say Leffen's gonna win. He's gonna win.
No, don't do this, Dave.
No.
Dude.
He's the one who has said that he's really not focusing on Melee that much.
God, I really don't want Leffen to lose to Army.
Leffen's gonna win.
No.
I want him to lose to Army. I want Amsa to win Genesis.
Who do you think is going to be in Grands with him, with HBox? That's the far more interesting question.
Yeah.
I think Mango's going to be in Grands with him.
Really?
from losers. I thought you were saying.
Yeah. No, from losers, because I think he's going to beat Leffen in losers finals.
I think it's so funny that no one takes Mango's ultimate grinding as even. Everyone thinks it's so not serious that it won't impact his melee play. I mean, he has
Mango. Come on.
He has been having. He actually has been having people over to stream all the time.
I've heard about that too, but come on.
You know what's gonna happen is that Mango's gonna come out of nowhere. He's gonna do so good in ultimate, and nobody's gonna see it coming.
But it's so funny, right? That like Plup, who we now know is playing Melee too, and who is so consistent, he's so clearly serious about Ultimate that there's a greater chance he's gonna underperform than Mango. Because Mango is just so clearly does not give a shit.
Dude, Mango's doing it for the stream.
I'm gonna say I still think Mango's Fox could potentially be really scary for HBox. And by really scary, I mean like HBox is still favored, but I think Mango will make grand finals.
By really scary, we mean might take a game.
Yeah, no. Oh, come on, give him credit. Mango's.
I mean, it's true.
Like that.
His Fox got destroyed every time he's played it recently.
Dude, that's one of the saddest things. I was trying to so I was talking with my good friend and fellow Melee statser, Ambi Sinister, and I was just like. And just one night, it was like late. I was really tired or whatever. I just texted him. Was like, dude, what if the Mango Falco switch? You remembered as Scorpion Master 2.0, where Mango just literally sandbagged tournaments with Falco. So everyone looks back on HBox's reign and is like, oh well, it doesn't even count because Mango wasn't going his best character. And for a second, like I was like, oh yeah, like this is Scorpion Master 2.0. But then I looked at like what happened when Mango's Fox played Hungrybox and how it just like still kept losing, and I was like, never mind. This is not a good excuse.
Give HBox his credit.
It's like I can't actually deny HBox credit. Like he still beat Mango's Fox. It's so sad. Scorpion Master 2.0 would have been such a
the longest con.
It would have been the sickest read in Melee history.
Ambi Sinister, by the way, going to beat Bladewise at this tournament.
Yes, Ambi will beat Bladewise. He'll do. I've seen Ambi against Peach.
And then still not make top 64.
Yeah, because
he's gonna make top. We talked with Ambi about this. He's gonna make top 64 because he's gonna double eliminate Bladewise.
He wouldn't. Does he? Wait. He beats Bladewise.
Is
that what would happen?
Yeah. How does that happen, Pika?
That's what Ambi told me.
Just as long as we
Don't
agree,
trust
You're
Ambi.
right. You're totally right. You are totally right.
as long as we agree, he loses to Surfero immediately after.
He's going to beat Bladewise, lose to Surfero, and then Bladewise is going to beat Vincessant, DJ Nintendo, and Zealous to get back to Ambi to play for top 64. It's just like it's exactly like Nun versus Azusa from last year. Same thing's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Shout out to Ambi Sinister.
Shout out to Ambi. He's gonna make top 64. He's gonna get 33rd.
Who does he lose to? Who does he lose to? After
Yeah,
losers.
I don't know, like Rocky or something.
Right. Because after he double eliminates Bladewise,
Right.
he beats Vortex, and then he loses to Fiction.
Giving him
Yeah,
credit for Vortex, but not.
Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds right.
We're
I mean,
giving
he beat
credit for
Esquire.
Vortex,
He
but
beat
not
Vortex.
Surfero. If he's in this universe, if he's beating Vortex, why are we so confident?
Man. Vortex is a conventional matchup. Surfer's gonna go freaking Ganon. You think Ambi knows how to beat Ganon?
Ambi destroys bad characters.
Surfero is just a magical being. Like there's
Yeah.
I was gonna say Surfer will beat him, but not because of Ganon, but just because.
No, Ambi's just gonna be blinded by his hair and not be able to see properly.
It's true. It's true. He's gonna have to take off his glasses.
Oh my god.
And
Do we want to?
Ambi has very light blue eyes. They're light sensitive. That hair could do some real damage to someone like that.
Oh damn! It's over. It's over. Ambi won't be able to do, but he'll still double eliminate Bladewise. So no, I said.
Is there anything else we have to say? Say whatever you want right now, or leave your piece be.
Facial
Edwin
top
Budding will
4.
defeat Eri.
What'd you say? Oh, you
said
said no chance. I'm losing 0-2. I think
I have faith.
I think I got 3 stock the first game, and then like last game, maybe I can get it to last stock once I start figuring out what he's doing. But I think there's no shot that I beat him.
Okay, but here's my actual here's my big upset. IBDW is going to beat Axe. That's my big upset prediction of the tournament.
Sure.
Yeah.
I can see that.
I like that.
We were saying earlier though
Yeah.
that it is like
Yeah.
the worst immediate top 64 winners thing you could give him.
Dude, you never know though. Delu lost
Lefin
to
is the other one.
Delu lost to Bonkushi and studied so much Pikachu, and then
That's
Axe,
true.
anything's possible.
God.
It's the best story. Yeah.
Dude, I feel like we mentioned Bonk so much on the show. We mentioned 42nd before 42nd, just like mega leveled up in the summer and stuff. Bonkushi, it turns out like if you want to be a nasty player, just play Bonkushi and get destroyed.
Do you guys know what my pool is for Genesis? It's the dumbest. I love it so much. I have Dingus, Upka, and Floans all in my pool.
Oh my god, the memer
What?
pool.
That's such a bizarre pool.
Like Dingus had the chance to change it, and he was like, "No way, this is a
No
little
way.
reunion.
Let's go, Dingus.
We're gonna enact an anarchist state and overthrow the top seeds. Just push them out of it. We
better
will.
take a pick.
Wait, hold on. Let me look at your pool. I need to see this.
I don't
You
even
need to
remember
believe
who
it.
the other people in it are.
Who needs to know? Those are the best players.
Good point.
I think. Oh wow, this is so sick. Yeah, you play Icer. You play Icer.
Oh yeah, I play Icer immediately. which is
Icer, the man who never goes to anything.
Wait, you're playing PB&J? What?
I think that's a
PB&J's in
different.
that pool?
Or
I
a
think
different
that's-
PB&J?
I think that's a different PB&J because there's a question mark after it, right?
Mhm.
I don't think that's the
If
same.
PB&J's also in that pool, that's just
Dude, if PB&J was in that pool, that's definitely the memer pool.
Mhm.
I like the way you phrase that.
Yeah,
Big time meme pool, memer.
yeah.
Shout out to Dingus Master, another another Melee Stats member. All right, I think that just
shout out to
about does it.
Dingo, the
Yeah.
Dingus.
I think that
Okay,
does
guys.
it.
Thank you a ton for sticking with us for the series. We're
33
gonna
episodes.
33. We're pretty happy about it. We just pursue individual things and sort of make sure that to try to just try to get our own goals out of the way and make sure that like if we ever come back to this, we're on the same page and we have a lot of the things that we're taking care of by then. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Whether you just tuned in now, whether you've been listening since last year, we still have a lot of really cool stuff. Again, I mentioned this. Check out the deep dive series. Wheat is spearheading that. Just we're very excited for it a lot. It's going to be a lot more in depth for tournaments and feature things like full length episodes with interviews. There's a really cool interview we had online with the Smash Camp TO Mikey, aka the Cheat from Arizona. We had Pipsqueak, the current number 1 in Stockholm with Leffen as number 0. We had an episode with him. I would definitely check that out. Obviously, check out the Melee Stats website where me and Ding still write basically weekend recap and weekend preview articles. We're not going anywhere. We're all pretty accessible and easy to communicate with, and we're all attending Genesis. So if you guys are going to Genesis, well, not all of us, but
yeah.
I'm not going.
A lot of us are going to Genesis. So
I'm going to the gang.
Yeah, you
I'm
are
probably
going to the
the
gang.
gang. Yeah, I'm probably going to the
I
gang.
might go to the
also.
game too. Yeah.
The gang is the Melee Stats tournament, dude.
Yeah, but me, Ambi, Wheat, Ding, Oven, Tafo, Sleepy, and YCZ and Algebra will all be at Genesis. So if you're a fan of Melee Stats or you've been listening to our podcast for a while, like do say hi to us. We're all mostly pretty friendly. Mostly.
Edwin can get a bit.
No, I'm fine. I'm great.
He's a Marthmain, dude.
No, Marthmains are great at meeting new people. Okay, why don't we talk about the patrons? Alec Vucinich, Carlos Robles, E. Tost, Greg Schaefer, Jack Harmoning, Jason Kelly, JM, Joey Danowitz, Jurgen Stenhammer, Matthew Biddle, Ozen Breton, Potato, Stock Money, and Videotape. Thank you guys so much. We have a lot of more cool stuff going into the Melee Stats website and just cool stuff individually. Obviously, thank you, Zane, also for joining the show. The reason Zane actually appeared on the show is because Marco, aka Oates, a Smash writer and who works with Zane. Why don't you talk about Zine for a little bit, and then we'll close the show. Just because Marco actually the reason in addition to us being friends, Marco purchased a special guest topic on the Big House 8 compendium and wanted you to be on the show.
I had no idea that was what happened.
You didn't?
No.
Well, now
you never told me that.
Wow.
I would have had him on, but he said, he was taking a break from Smash at the time and said, I would really love it if you had Zane on. Zane, you can talk about Zine for a little bit. I don't know if you guys are doing it for Genesis or when it's coming back. But
no, I don't know if the Zine is coming back, full disclosure. The Zine lived out of Marco's goodwill and wanting to do something truly amazing for the community. If you guys didn't know, it was the Zine Marco and I put together called Major that was highlighting stories and writing and art from the community. And I think it is the thing I'm the most proud of over this past year. The first episode the first edition came out at Genesis last year, and Marco and I were just walking around and handing them out to people and being, hey, you want a zine? And they would go, what does it cost? And we say it's free, and then we'd see them tossed on the floor later, and it was awesome. It was great. No, they're all
really good, and they're all really good, and some of the you'll see things that are written about that you can that you would have never ever related to in Smash terms or never even thought about. A lot of really cool perspectives that
I would
out of the game.
I would say so we did 4 issues of the zine. 3 of them are physical copies. They're sitting over there actually on my bookshelf. And then the last one we weren't able to put together physically, but it is published now. So if you go to majorzine.com, or sorry, not majorzine.com, but majorzine on Twitter, you can find a link to that last issue that was supposed to come out for Big House. And I'm really, 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 really proud of it. It's on our issue page too, ISSUU. It has a lot of really amazing art and some pieces of writing that really, really were incredible. We got Existential Wizrobe in there, which was cool.
Yeah, let's go.
But the highlight of that edition is a little piece by Wobbles in there called Being Ready.
Now I need that.
made me really, really happy. So yeah, go check it out. It's the thing I'm probably the most proud of. I think it encapsulates what's
Yeah,
Smash
shout
and
out to
Melee
Zane.
mean to me. So
Shout out to Oates. Thank you, and thank the rest of you for supporting our little gathering of friends and Smash community members. Maybe, yeah, it's been really cool. It's been definitely a journey, being part of this podcast and everything. But I guess until the Melee stats signal shows up, we'll see you guys another time. Goodbye.
Yeah, see ya.